Welcome to episode 8 of my series celebrating all things rural. I'm in Warwickshire to meet Bobbie Sewell, the founder of Leicester Chocolate, where she brings cocoa from Grenada and makes it into the most delicious chocolate here in the heart of Warwickshire. Let's go find her. So your story begins in Grenada at the Leicester estate. Tell me your sort of earliest memories of there.
It wasn't actually fond memories. Essentially, we went up every Sunday to my grandmother's house where Leicester was for curry lunches, and it had to happen every Sunday. But the journey there was a really windy road, and I got so car sick all the time that I just dreaded those Sunday lunches. And actually, when we went down to see the cocoa, I thought the cocoa stank so much because it was fermenting. It was like quite a powerful smell. And so weirdly, even though I look back on it with quite fond memories, I think when I was younger and there, I was like, oh my goodness, I just, didn't look forward to it.
Smell.
Yeah. And actually it was only probably, and I think people always realise this about their homes, is when they're like 16, 17 and they go away from their home. So where they went to England, people are like, you are sitting on gold. Like your family have a cocoa farm that is organic and it grows all these wonderful spices. Like, what are you doing not doing anything with it? And it sort of got me thinking, like one day I remember thinking, if I don't do anything with Leicester and I come to the end of my life, that will be my biggest regret. And
oh my God.
Actually that happened, I think it happened in the pandemic, really. My auntie always wanted me to do something. I knew deep down, I always wanted to do something. The pandemic happened. I happened to be home in Grenada. I remember it was Friday the 13th of March, and I was about to go back to England to do my catering jobs. And I was like, you know what? I think they'll all be cancelled. And so I was like, you know what? I'm just going to spend the next 4 to 6 weeks here. And I called up my uncle, who's the agronomist on the farm.
Okay.
And I said, can you just show me around the cocoa farm? And I was looking up regenerative agriculture at the time. And I was like, oh.
So there was something sort of starting before.
I started doing sort of the groundwork, and I was like, okay, I feel like what we're doing is very good for the land and the earth and Grenada. And he was like, yeah, everything we do is regenerative, organic, we follow agroforestry. And he's like, I will walk you through the farm and show you exactly what's happening. And when he did, that sort of just was the light bulb moment. I was like, I need to do something with this.
So COVID was obviously a horrendous time for so many people. And the pandemic affected businesses, families, everything. So you found yourself in the middle of Grenada, and how did that sort of impact you to make this sort of life decision to sort of stop what you were doing back in England? Did it sort of help promote you to do that? Did it sort of give you the whole place is falling apart, so I might as well sort of start again and create this business?
You know what, it did in a way, because I felt so disconnected from Grenada. I really wanted that thing to keep coming me back, letting me come back home. And I think at that time, me and my boyfriend, who's now my husband, we wanted nearly to spend a good chunk of time in Grenada with my family in the year. And we sort of worked out during that time. I mean, we were separated for 5 months during COVID, and it sort of just gave us both the time to sit and work out what we really actually wanted.
Do you know what, there are so many stories from people who have started businesses since 2020 that said it gave them the chance to sort of actually stop. We all had to stop, and everyone had to rethink, like, is this what we want to do? Is this what we want to create? And yes, out of it came so much darkness, but actually also so much light and so much promise and hope, because people got to start their own things.
Absolutely.
And I feel like Leicester is a joyful story from a dark time.
It is. I'm actually quite solidly glad that it happened. Because I don't think I ever would have stopped to think, okay, I need to do this. I would have been trying to do 10 different things at once. Plus Leicester never had the chance and space to actually put all sort of guns blazing
into it. And that's what it needs. That's what a new business needs. You have to be fully committed.
Exactly.
We've got this gorgeous shed here, and I can see some incredibly bright Caribbean colours, so it's very hard to miss.
I was about to say.
Tell me about this.
So I wanted my chocolate factory to be representative of Grenada and sort of look like a rum shack that you'd find on the side of the road in Grenada. And before, this was just white, not very nice, and I forgot to do it myself, or didn't have time to do it myself. And when I went home to Grenada to go and do a cocoa shipment, when I came back, my husband had done these beautiful Grenadian colours for me. So now every time I open it, even in the winter, I just feel a bit of happiness.
It's absolutely brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant. So you guys are super hands-on in the whole process. I mean, all from harvesting, roasting to this. What is going on here?
So we are pouring the chocolate out of the grinder, and this has been in the grinder for 4 days. So all that is in here is cocoa and sugar, both, organic cocoa and sugar. And
and is this completely different to another chocolate, you know, like a Minstrels or a Milk Buttons, you know?
Yes.
The ingredients that go into this
is literally just cocoa and sugar.
Okay.
And when we do our salted version, I put in a little bit of Maldon salt, about 1%, 2 hours before the grinder ends. So it's immersed in it. And I think a lot of chocolate makers put the salt, sprinkle it on top, but this gives so many different flavour notes when the salt is added to the drum instead, just a couple hours before the end. But this one is a 70%, so it's in here is 9.8 kilos of cocoa and 4.2 kilos of sugar. So essentially the 30% is just sugar. So we pour it out, we grind it down for about 4 days for it to get really, really smooth. And then we always pour it out through a sieve just to remove any impurities or any sugar that hasn't ground down. Essentially, and then we'll pour it straight into the temperature machine.
Okay, let's go. Let's see this.
Right, let's not get this
wrong. I feel like I'm in Willy Wonka's chocolate factory.
Here we go. And
my!
I think a lot of chocolate makers just grind for about 2 days, and we grind for 4. To really get the sort of all the flavours out and to really get the smoothness, because I didn't want to add anything else. I didn't want to add any cocoa butter on top to make it smoother, or change the consistency, because I think it changes the flavour.
So hand making this chocolate is a pretty slow and labour intensive. What do you find most satisfying about the process, and what do you find the most challenging bit?
You know what, the most challenging bit I find actually loading this grinder, because it takes so long. We use a peanut butter grinder, which isn't the fastest one. There's definitely faster ways of pre-grinding your cocoa to get it in here, so I'd say that one is nearly quite annoying to do, and not very glamorous. It doesn't obviously look like chocolate yet. It's very much 100% cocoa to get it in the grinder, and I'd actually say the most satisfying is probably piping the buttons and actually turning on the vibrator so it takes all the air bubbles out. I'd find probably that bit the most, which you'll see in a bit as well. And even though, you know, you're doing about 50 trays, I've probably piped, you know, well over 1 million buttons.
You've done over 1 million buttons,
definitely.
do you think, today?
Yes.
Wow, Bobbie, that's amazing.
It's a lot.
This is why we need to promote small businesses, because the hard work, the love, the sweat, the tears that is going into this is absolutely remarkable.
So it moves. Okay, that's a good sound. that means the chocolate will be about to come out. There we go.
Oh my, wow.
Yeah. It's quite nice. That makes it feel like it's Willy Wonka's chocolate factory.
Wait, why is it doing that? So why does it go through there and come back out? What's
Because
this
it needs
process?
to keep moving. So there's a little sort of rotator in there.
Yeah.
And then it sucks the chocolate like beneath like a sink.
Yeah.
And there's a little auger in here, so it's sort of a spiraled auger within this.
Right.
And that's what's right currently. It will be heating it up while it's moving it all around. And then once it gets to 48 degrees, then it quickly like cools it down to get down to about 31 degrees. Right. And then when it's in 31 degrees, the machine will give sound, and that means it's in temper. So
that means it's ready to put into your molds.
Into the molds, yeah.
Got
so
you.
I'll get the
And does this, for this whole process, is this to keep it as smooth as possible?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Understood.
As smooth, as stable as possible, so you don't get any fat bloom or sugar bloom.
Or separating.
Exactly.
Okay. Okay, so the finished product. So we've gone through all this hardship and stress and worry, but the end product are these beautiful boxes and these incredible chocolate buttons. So we've got 3 different flavours.
Yes, so we've got...
And should we try? Can I try each one of them?
So this one is the 70.
Yeah.
This one is sort of, the entry dark chocolate for most people.
So for those people that haven't tried dark chocolate, this is the place to begin your journey.
This is the place to begin your journey.
So if you're a dairy milk person, stop now. Go onto the Lestaire website and buy 72% chocolate button.
And you know what? It really, to me, it doesn't taste like dark chocolate.
Okay.
Yeah.
Look at that. Amazing. So should you suck it first?
You should, actually. I heard you bite it.
I did. It's too tempting to bite down.
Sometimes I'm like that. But let it melt a bit first.
Okay, so it's quite light. Actually, it's not too heavy. And you can actually taste chocolate.
Yeah.
Genuine chocolate. Okay, that is amazing.
That is straight to the point. This one is the award winner. The 3-star Great Taste.
Okay, so you got
which
one? The Great Taste Award in 2024, last year.
Yeah.
That is so
this
exciting.
This one is 72% with sea salt. People think it's sweeter than the 70%, and I think that's because of the addition of salt.
So maybe that makes it sweeter.
Weirdly, but more caramel.
With the flavour, it's a little bit sweeter. But at the beginning, it's a little bit darker. Delicious.
And then it grows and grows, and you're like, oh my gosh. You nearly think it has more sugar in it than it does.
Yeah.
Because the cocoa.
But so does that have the same amount of sugar as this one?
No, less sugar.
So less
sugar. Less sugar. And then 1% salt.
Gosh, delicious.
Yeah, modern salt. And then
last but not least.
This
is for the hardcores.
Yeah, me.
Me.
Good old 85.
Oh, love an 85%. Okay, here goes.
And that one, I think a lot of 85s are really bitter and just not as creamy. It's quite, a lot of 85s can make your mouth feel quite dry afterwards. And this one still has that nice, it still has that sort of end bitterness as well that keeps on with the less sugar cocoa content.
That is absolutely delicious.
Yeah.
And what's so great about dark chocolate, with a milk chocolate or something, you could eat a whole entire bar.
Yeah.
Which I guess is why it's terribly bad for you. This, all you need is that one button. It is just the perfect amount to sort of satisfy you.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
Bobbie, they're delicious. They are absolutely incredible. So looking ahead to the future, what are your sort of hopes and dreams for Lestaire? Do you envision sort of ideally scaling, or do you want to keep it sort of small and deeply rooted?
I do want to keep it small. I mean, I really can't imagine having one massive, huge factory. And actually, Lestaire is still a relatively small farm, so we only I say we produce maybe about 5 tons of cocoa every year. Currently I only take about a ton. So it does have the capacity to scale,
yeah.
Definitely. And I would love that at the end of the day to be all the cocoa the farm produces that I make. We make the chocolate from. But also, like, another part of me wants to get other farmers in Grenada involved as well and part of the supply chain. There's a few things in place currently in Grenada that means I can't quite do that yet, but I do really want to, and I think I will continue it with chocolate. I mean, at first when I was starting Leicester, I wanted to do, we grow beautiful nutmeg and the world's most prized nutmeg, but I think I will just
stick to one thing and do it really well.
Yeah, and I worked that out quite quickly when I was trying to do maybe a bit too many things, too many spices, chocolate, and I was like, just keep to the cocoa and do one thing very well.
And you obviously make the buttons, which are literally one perfect mouthful of heaven.
Yeah.
But I'm obsessed with cocoa powder. I love it in my smoothies. I love cocoa nibs. Is that maybe something that you're going to look to do?
So actually, I'm thinking potentially it might be this year. It will probably be next year to do chocolate shavings. So for hot chocolate. So instead of having the cocoa powder, which needs a whole entire different machinery and everything, I will actually get tempered. The actual chocolate literally just
shave it
through a grater, mechanical grater, and so I'm hoping to bring that out next year because a lot of people have said that they sometimes melt down the buttons to turn into hot chocolate, and I've done it before myself, especially with our 722 with a little bit of sea salt, and the hot chocolate is insane.
How do you hope your story might inspire future generations in Grenada?
I hope that and actually it's sort of started happening. I hope that especially women who have family farms and they don't know what to do with it, and they're growing cocoa, they're growing other things as well. How do they turn it into a product or the end product that people buy? And it's starting to happen in Grenada bit by bit. There are small chocolate makers dotted around Grenada, and that's how I learned. I learned from the Grenadian chocolate makers. I didn't learn from anyone else. So even, it doesn't have to be on the scale of, Leicester. It can be really small and it can be within Grenada itself. But also there are women from abroad that have family farms in Grenada or just throughout the Caribbean that have got in contact with me and being like, how have you done this, And you just work it out every step of the way, but I've been in touch with them just for them to try and sort of work out something for the future. So I hope it does inspire others to do something with their family farm and not let it sort of go back to the land or be,
wasted actually, because you're sitting on such a precious product that so many people want, and it's completely delicious, and that's the key, isn't it? Getting it in front of people. Well, thank you so much for having me today to see your incredible factory, and I wish you all the best for the future.
Thanks, Tamara.